2020 Audi Q3 rear brake pad replacement. So the first couple things we're going to do, we're going to take a screwdriver and pry this lock pin out, or spring, and then we're going to take off the caps of these sliders, caliper bolts, and there's a 7mm hex inside there. So we'll take both those out, push them back away from this piece, and then we will be able to remove all of this, and the pads will just pop out. So you just loosen this screw in there with a 7, and then push this back like that. So there's separation there. I think you can see it, because this part will have to lift up. Okay, got the screws loose up here, and so now you can just see that it'll just come right off. Now if your car's from up north or something and has tons of rust everywhere, you may have to get a hammer and tap this thing, but this one is pretty loose. So what we're going to do is just take this off. We're going to lay it over here. Just got to be careful of your brake lines. Make sure you don't kink them up too much. These things are very robust, though. I tried a hanger on the other one. Didn't really work out too well. So I just kind of set this over here and tried to minimize the stress and crimping those things. So the next thing we're going to do after that is we're going to take off this, if I can get it, take off the electrical connector to the electric brake, and you just push on. You can barely see my fingers pointing it. You have to push on a little tab there and then pull the connector off. And be careful, I may have broken it on the other side, so I wire tied this thing back on with a zip tie just to make sure. But so we'll pull that off, and then I'll check back in and show you how to retract the parking brake. Okay, so I've got a 12-volt power supply hooked up to the positive and negative terminals. I think I have it the right way. It'll be obvious pretty quick if not, when I turn the switch here. But the idea is you turn this on, and you're going to hear the motor retract. You can't really see this move a whole lot, but you'll see it if you have it the wrong direction. It'll start coming out. So let's just see what happens here. Oh, wrong way. Okay, let me redo it. All right, just swap these. So what I'm going to do is take a white Sharpie and write plus minus on here. So when I do this again, I won't go the wrong way. So let's turn this thing on, see what happens. Okay, yeah, so it's retracting. So I'm going to let it run till it stops. I'm going to quickly turn it off. Okay, good. All right, so that's done. And so I'll get the brake spreader and push this caliper back in, and then get the new pads, put them in there. So I got the pads here, and it's pretty obvious. They just slip right in there. I've got a little bit of copper grease. You can see that it's just metal on metal sliding around there. So really didn't have any on it from the factory, but just some like anti-seize. Just want to make sure you clean those off pretty well. Just make sure there's no buildup. I'm trying to get the light correct. Yeah, make sure there's no buildup. You can scrape it with a screwdriver, brake clean, and whatnot. And then the only other thing left is these sliders. So you can pull them out, and these are in really good shape because this is the first change. Sometimes these things will be rusty, and you'll want to maybe put a wire brush on it, get the rust off. So I'm just going to wipe these down and put a little bit of grease on them and put them back in there. And pretty hard holding the phone and doing this, but just get this thing in your hand, and so you're going to see need to align those caliper bolts there, and just slip it on. And now you're just going to get it on there, and now we'll just screw in those 2 bolts. I just want to show you a little bit here. So I've got this kind of short 7mm just to get that thing started. And it's kind of a pain with that brake hose right there. being in the way, but I mean, you can do it. And then same thing down here. And this one, you have a little bit more space. So this one I can use the ratchet without the extension. On the top, to tighten this thing, I have to use this extension. Now, actually, one without the angle would be better. I couldn't find one. So now I'm just going to tighten those things down. Okay, pretty much done here. Got the clips back in, or the E-clip right there. It's not really too much of a problem to get in. I put the top one in first, and then I think I got the bottom one in the hole, and then pushed this bottom piece over the edge of that other piece of the caliper. I took the brake bleed cover off. I'm going to bleed the brakes, and I just did some general cleanup. I did mark a plus on the electric brake cable, so I know next time. And just, it's good just to wipe things down, because it helps you, especially around here, it helps you see leaks and things like that. Just easier to spot. So didn't spend a ton of time cleaning it up, but it's certainly clean enough. And then you can clean this if you want to see silver. I cleaned it a little bit, but it'll be black again pretty quickly, so not too much concern with that. So that is the rear brake pad replacement. Not replacing the rotor, but I'll do that next time, maybe 50,000 more miles or so. Not a big deal to do that. You take this screw out. If it's a lot of rust, your car's been up north, you might have to bang it off. Otherwise, you can just pull that off after you take this off. And I saw a video, actually another guy left the hard part of the caliper on, the fixed part. And I'd recommend doing that. There's no need to take those big bolts out of the back of that thing. Oh, so speaking of bolts, so a couple things I'm going to do. Haven't done yet. I'm going to put a little bit of marking on these things to make sure these bolts don't start backing out. I'll just look at them after a little while. I have torqued them. I don't know what torque to use, so I just used my best judgment. Probably a little bit tighter than they were initially. This one right here. So I'll put a little bit of paint on there, and just look at them after driving a little bit, make sure they're not backing out. It's hard to get a torque wrench on there anyway, just because of everything else that's in the way. So the mechanics at the shop probably don't do it either. So I think that's it. We'll put the tire back on and give it a test. Okay, probably worthwhile. One more note. The electric parking brake, somebody else on YouTube said that you don't have to worry about this. You get in the car, you crank it, you cycle the brake on and off, and this thing will reset itself. So the fact that we rewound it in supposedly is okay. So if it's not okay, I'll come back and let you know what I have to do. But if this is the end of the video, then assume it is all good. We'll do some bonus coverage here for bleeding the brakes. So your brake system is sealed, and the brake fluid, it's 99.9% sealed. But over time, like when the guys when you go to Jiffy Lube and they want to tell you that your brake fluid is oil, they open it. And when they open it, a little bit of air gets in there. I'll explain what I have going on here in a sec. And then moisture can get in there, and moisture gets in the brake fluid. And over time, it just sucks up more and more and more. Brake fluid loves moisture and water, and that'll kill your brake system. So this is why you need to flush your brakes every now and then. And when you're replacing front and back pads, 50,000 miles, just a good idea to do it. So what I have here is a pressure. I've got about 5 PSI back on the air compressor over there. And, and I have this cap on here, and pressure. So we have pressure on the system. Now this is in lieu of having somebody sit inside the vehicle and press the brake pedal. So it's a little bit more straightforward. So then what I have back here is I just have a wrench on the brake bleeder and a tube with a catch can on there. And so what you do, I'll see if I can get this on video. You just loosen this thing, and when it has pressure on it, of course this is like super hard to get to. I'm not even sure I just broke it loose. Let's see. Come on, brake fluid. Gotta loosen a little bit more. This should be loose enough now. My hand. Nope. Sorry. There we go. All right, I might need to turn up the pressure a little bit. Sometimes the pressure on these things bleeds down. Yeah, so it's almost nothing. Let me get this going up some. Gotta be careful. Oh, what am I doing here? Plus, yeah, I'm going the right direction. Here we go. All right, so we're gonna go about there. Let's go back. Should see some fluid coming out. Is it full? It's probably full. Yes. Oh yeah. Okay, so we got some in the bottle. So you're just gonna let this go for a little while, probably a little bit more than that, and then we'll close this off. So let me stop the video here so I don't mess myself up. Okay, got this closed off. So this is full of fluid now, and when you, I'm not going to do it with one hand, but when you take this off, just try and pinch it and then hold it up so all the fluid goes in the catch can. And because this stuff is really corrosive, and you want to wipe it up. So if you spill any brake fluid, just wipe it up immediately, and maybe use some cleaner, degreaser, whatnot. Anyway, so what happens now is I'm going to do this on the other side, and then I am going to refill the reservoir, and then I'll go to the fronts and I'll bleed those. Then I'll come back here again to the backs, because I just want to push. We have a whole can of fluid, so I just want to push, push all that through until I get brand new fluid coming out. And on the other side, I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you crack this open. See the fluid start coming down there. So, if you're impatient, you can open it up a little bit wider. But really, so just another point of caution, you do not want to get air in here. So you can actually hear it dripping. So, just make sure before you take this tube off that you close the bleed valve. If you're doing the foot pump method, you only open the valve when your foot is pressed down on the brake. So if you don't want to be letting up on the brake until you have this tightened, so it won't suck air in. So there's communication back and forth. Usually works well. If you get your wife there and you speak real nice to her about when she's supposed to push and let up. Okay, I'm on the front wheel here. Let's see if I can. There we go. See that going up? So I've done this a couple times. It's getting pretty full. Just have to make sure, you put the brake fluid in the reservoir, and make sure that doesn't drain all the way out. So on the conservative side, don't just try and get this done in one step. It's a multi-step process. All right, so I got the front tightened up here. I think I'm done with that. And just make sure you clean off these bleeders really well. You just don't want that brake fluid dripping anywhere. So got a good bit pushed through. I'm comfortable that these calipers and the lines have the new fluid in it, but the backs are way back there. So I'm going to go back to the back. First thing, I'm going to check the level in the reservoir. If it's okay, I'm going to go drain some more out of the back. Otherwise, I'll refill the reservoir and go drain the back.